Robert Whittaker's manager Titus Day reveals Rob was offered Sean Strickland right after his recent fight against Ikram Aliskerov in June, and Sean declined. Speaking to Submission Radio, Titus said Sean's obviously taking a very different strategy and sitting there and waiting. He's probably got a legitimate call for the title, but Rob wants to fight. I mean, that's how he makes a living. Straight after the last fight in Riyadh, they asked us to fight straight away. Does Rob want to fight him? Like literally on the day. They said, does Rob want to fight Sean in Perth? And we said straight away, absolutely. Apparently he said no, so that was it. Daniel Cormier reacts to Jorge Masvidal potentially returning to the UFC this year. DC praises Jorge for what he's done in the UFC. However, he wonders if fans care about Jorge returning today in 2024.
He has what is, honestly guys, one of the greatest retirements you could ever ask for in this sport. You're in a full arena. You're in your hometown. You just lost to a guy that is still competing at the top of the division. You're walking into your own organization. You just had a fairy tale retirement, and you go off and you start doing honestly good work for a guy starting a promotion. But then Masvidal starts to talk about fighting mixed martial arts again. Look, I'm gonna tell you this one thing. George Masvidal should be commended for doing what he did to reach the levels of stardom that he did. A guy that was a bit of a journeyman to a main event attraction. Him and Kamaru Usman sold a boatload of pay-per-views. But do you care today, in 2024, to see George Masvidal come back and fight someone? He said Michael Chandler continues to wait for Conor McGregor. He goes, I can start Chandler, but still, it boils back to the same question. Do you care today to see George Masvidal come back? Can he recreate what he did before? And if he can, do you even care to jump on the ride to find out? In my regard, I believe with the work that he was doing outside of the octagon, this promotion seems to be doing well. I'm happy with seeing that man walk away.
Francis Ngannou told Jake Paul to his face that Mike Tyson is going to beat his ass. Francis made an appearance on Jake's podcast. Francis said, yeah, I do. Listen, I have seen Tyson move around just to show me stuff. He was like, this footwork moves like this. And I was like, hold on, like, calm down. He still got it. Either way, I think Mike Tyson will beat you up. We're talking about Mike, bro. Mike is something else. He's a specimen. Jake responded, I love it when people stand on business and say the other person's gonna win. I like it. It makes it fun. He's my boy too. Kamaru Usman responds to the AI diss tracks Belal Muhammad posted about him last week. Usman says he's coming to take Belal's belt.
I tell you what, man, Belal Muhammad's gotten pretty cocky with that belt.
Imagine how I feel. I'm like, who the f is this guy? Who the f is that guy? I didn't know who this guy was a couple years ago or last year. I didn't hear his name. I don't even remember his name. You know, more power to Belal if that's how he feels. I mean, he's dropping, he paid for someone to do a diss song or whatever.
Turn it up, turn that up.
Hey.
Turn it up. I
was in the locker room, lacing up his worn-out gloves, thinking about that golden belt, all his dreams of love.
Ooh, hit the dance move. That song was as corny as can be. Looking at a golden belt, I have 6 of them in the room next door. Yeah, I can look at belts all day. And if I want his belt, I'm coming to take his belt. I want the fight, but I want the fight. But when you've got him saying, I'm gonna sit down, I'll let those guys, you guys fight, and then I'll fight the winner. Listen, that's not a recipe for how you make money. So it is what it is. But at some point, he's gonna have to step in there with me, and we're gonna settle it. But yeah, it is what it is. Keep dropping corny, weak diss track. Was that what that's called? A diss track? It was like a lullaby or something. It's a nice country lullaby for me. And obviously with this rumor with Shavkat, we're right there to where if the champion decides to fight sometime in the next year and a half, 2 years, we'll both fight the champion. But if the champion is not deciding to fight, the division is going to have to move on and fights are going to happen. But listen, I am scared of no one. On less than 9 days notice, I flew to the other side of the world to fight supposedly the scariest guy. I'm scared of no one. Believe none of these rumors.
Michael Bisping explains why he is actually not a fan of the matchup between Alex Pereira and Dricus du Plessis. On his YouTube channel, Bisping said, I don't like it. Simple as that. Maybe Alex Pereira's just messing around because even though he's a serious son of a bitch, he's got a sense of humor. He's very stoic, but I'm telling you, he's a sarcastic guy and I get it. Maybe he's trolling, but maybe he's not. Maybe he's trying to make the most money he can, take on the toughest opponents, and retire with millions and millions and millions of dollars in the bank. He's probably going to do that anyway, but still. He's got people to fight already. He's fighting Khalil Roundtree. You cannot look past killer Khalil Roundtree. He's the kickboxer killer. He really is. Think about this. He beat Gokhan Saki, very good kickboxer that came to MMA. Dustin Jacoby, very good glory kickboxer that came to MMA. Could he do the same to Alex Pereira? I don't know. It's a tough ask. But I tell you what, don't underestimate the man. After that, if he wins, he's got to fight Magomed Ankalaev. He ain't happy about this. He's going absolutely mental online. He might have a point. We want to see great champions, and Alex Pereira is a great champion, make no mistake. We want to see them take on all comers in their division, also prove that they can beat all these different types of styles. Magomed Ankalaev on paper is a very, very tough stylistic matchup because of the Dagestani wrestling. If you look at Pereira, he's had kind of a favorable path. I'm not talking shit. I'm just talking facts. If Pereira can't take the best shot from Izzy at 185, he probably can't take the best shot from Dricus at 185 either. It means the stock's gonna drop, simple as that. And it's going to affect his buying power going forward. Just going down to 185 doesn't make the most sense for him. Been there, done it, got the t-shirt. Go to heavyweight if you truly want to become a 3-division champion. What an achievement that would be. Gilbert Burns says doing a podcast with Renato Moicano is now blowing up his relationships with current UFC fighters they talk about. Gilbert brings up Renato's recent remarks on Raul Rosas Jr.
Man, one thing that I have to point out, this is one of the ugliest mother that I ever seen. Put this frame, my brother. Stop the sound.
Yeah, that's up, bro.
How are you enjoying podcasting?
The podcast is nice, you know. Shout out to those guys. Show Me the Money Pod. Moicano is a character. That guy is funny. Sometimes I don't want to. I have a great relationship with so many fighters, and he's kind of blowing that up a little bit, you know. Like, I'm like, why are you saying that bad about these guys? Like, I like Junior, the guy that's fighting next week, the Mexican kid, Chihuahua Rosas. So I love Raul Rosas, you know. And then that guy is so funny, and then I want to have that guy on the pod. And now, like, he kind of, you know what I mean? He gets me on a weird place, but I like it. It's funny. So we talk about fighting a lot. Yeah, it's fun.
Sean O'Malley says that he will absolutely be reopening Merab's recent cut above his eye that required stitches. In an interview with Kevin Ioli, Sean said, "I am 100% going to open up that cut, whether it's healed or not. I don't know how much it can heal. I've never really had any bad cuts, so I'm not sure really, but I'm going to be targeting it. That's the left side of his face, and this right hand doesn't miss. I'll probably accidentally hit his nose before I hit that cut. That nose just kind of takes up 85% of his face, so I'm going to try to get around his nose and get to that cut." Dana referring to him as one of the stupidest people or beyond stupid. Whatever he said was pretty accurate. I mean, the dude's just not that smart of a guy. Chael Sonnen advises Alexander Volkanovski to move up to lightweight to avoid becoming a gatekeeper at featherweight. On his YouTube channel, Chael said Volk still wants to come back. Where do we want to put him? I certainly wouldn't disrespect him, and I don't believe the UFC would. If he came and said, "I'm a title shot guy, that's it," I believe they would say okay. But he doesn't want to fight anybody specific, he just wants the title back. That is a different motivation. I won't question it. I'm speaking for me as a fan. I would rather a match, a specific match. You want to know what I want for Volk? I want him at 55, and I don't want to talk about titles right now. I want to see an awesome match. I want to see Volk and Charles Oliveira at 155. I also think outcome-wise, I think you land in a higher spot whether you beat Charles or you don't beat Charles. You go into a championship spot and you get beat, that will never return. That hope and dream is gone forever. Forever. There's not a 36-year-old that is even returning to be given the opportunity. It's to the point where unless you want to be a gatekeeper of some regard, here's your walking papers. It would be that severe in a title fight. That would not be the case at 155 versus Charles. It looks like Tony Ferguson's big announcement may have been revealed. A few days ago, Tony posted this to his Instagram. He wrote, "Check it out. I have some very exciting news coming at you. Can't say much at the moment. Expect it Friday." Today, Tony posted this. It turns out he's getting a hair transplant.
Hey, what's up, crew? It's Tony Alcacui Ferguson here, aka The Boat. You know what that is. That's the best of all time, baby.
Was finished here, Bosley in Beverly Hills, right here in the penthouse. All I have to say is A+. Right now, I'm walking like a full amount of confidence because I know what's going to happen.
Tony, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Welcome to Bosley.
So you're sweet, man. You got the A-team here. Getting a lot of hair too, I'm glad.
Tons of graphs. Nice.
Say thank you very much to Team Bosley for making me feel like family here, taking care of me, making me more sexy than I already am.
Israel Adesanya released a statement regarding the footage that emerged on social media yesterday of him appearing to be in a road rage incident. Izzy went on to say, "I'm extremely disappointed after an incident on Wednesday when a random member of the public stopped his car, racially abused me, and challenged me to a fight. We have been in contact with the police and will be pressing charges. On Wednesday morning, I was leaving a cafe on K Road when I was passing a car slowed and an occupant began yelling racial abuse and challenging me to fight. I smiled, waved it off, and continued to my car. The vehicle stopped and the abuse continued. I again waved it off. The car then parked and the passenger got out, approached me aggressively, continued his torrent of abuse, and demanded I fight him. I tried to de-escalate the situation repeatedly. As he got closer, I asked bystanders to call the police. He then entered my personal space and I felt threatened. To protect myself, I became more forceful in my language and defensive. Though he paused, the abuse continued, so I left him with some choice words, cautiously moved to my car and drove away. It's ridiculous that I can't buy a pie after training without some idiot screaming despicable things and asking for a fight while his mates film him from the sidelines. Threatening violence is no joke, it's very dangerous, and incidents like this must not be glorified online. I hope in the future people say something, rather than get their phones out to film." An anonymous eyewitness at the scene gave a statement. This was allegedly the person that filmed the whole interaction. They said, "I immediately recognized him, and from what I witnessed, I was quite disappointed to see him acting in this manner in public, swearing and spitting at the other guy and grabbing his privates. As a public figure, I expected more from someone who represents New Zealand internationally." And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Nate Marks. It says Masvidal is super irrelevant. The second one's from Skitter McBoo. It says the only thing Masvidal is dropping is a double cheeseburger with fries. And the final one's from Gibbsy95. It says Bilal's head is so big. Wins the title, automatically thinks he's the greatest to ever do it in all aspects. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.